Well, it was a sense of deja vu for our Perth Thundersticks teams over the weekend, both losing the same way they did in round one, albeit the men just a little bit worse. Welcome to this week's episode of The Hockey Out. Jace Gabriel here with you. And as always, my favourite Adelaide. Am I going to go with that?
Yeah,
Adelaide.
of course.
And of course, Tassie Tiger, Jane Claxton. Welcome, Jane.
Thank you. Good to be back after a brutal weekend, and I'm just recovering.
Yeah, you had I thought it was the 20-year-old Jane running around out there, although you may not have felt like that. There was lots of grunting.
The days after were quite torturous.
I also enjoyed your acting skills. Now, we couldn't understand what you were saying, but there were lots of arm movements and hand movements towards our friends in pink.
I was trying to do a good interpretive dance to the umpire to convince her that, yes, it did actually hit a foot in the circle and you can give us a corner. But he wasn't convincing enough. So
we'll dissect it shortly. But, of course, we've got the news coming up in a second. We'll answer your mailbag questions. We'll go through the results of round two in the Hockey One season. We're going to chat to James Collins, the vice captain of the Perth Thundersticks men. We'll look ahead to this weekend's round three games. And on around the grounds, we're going to chat to, a former Perth Thunderstick going up against her former club. This weekend, Aleisha Power, the goalkeeper of the Adelaide Fire. But let's get straight into the Hockey WA news. And if you haven't seen it already, the Boroughs took home the Sultan of Johor Cup, defeating India 2-1. And it was our very own Perth Thunderstick, Ian Grobbelaar, scoring 2 goals in the final to add to his 4 that he'd already scored during the tournament. If you haven't seen the Boroughs Instagram page, go have a look because he is flicking some absolute bullets at the moment, and it could be something that the Perth Thundersticks men need at the moment.
And probably wanting him back as soon as possible.
Absolutely. Look, this will probably go out after the teams are named, but I strongly feel that he will get selected for this weekend. So why not? He's in some very, very good form. The Boroughs won 3 games, drew 2 and lost none in the 5-game competition before beating India. And I think that's the first win they've had in, I want to say 5 or 6 attempts. They've lost the final a fair few times. So fantastic to them. Of course, Matty Edwards and Pat Andrew, the other WA representative. So well done to the Boroughs taking home the Sultan of Johor Cup.
Yeah, and keeping it international, South African men and women have actually qualified for the FAH World Cup in Belgium and Netherlands for 2026 through the Africa Cup of Nations. So, yeah, they're off. They've booked their ticket as well as, obviously, to date. Australia, Spain have qualified for the men through the FIH Pro League, as well as Belgium and Netherlands being the home team in the men's competition. And then through Argentina, through the Pan America Cup, Germany qualified through the Euros, New Zealand, obviously, through Oceania Cup. And then, the remaining 7 teams are due to qualify early in 2026 through the FIH World Cup qualifiers as well. So, well done to the African men's and women's team who booked their ticket. I don't know if they'll actually end up going. I know they struggle a lot with funding and things like that. So, fingers crossed that they can convince their governing body to be in attendance to the World Cup this time round.
Yeah, it's a big thing for especially the African nations. I know obviously South Africa have always been probably the best of the African nations, and if they're struggling, I can only imagine how the other African nations are going. So fingers crossed we can get the South African men and women to Belgium and Netherlands for next year's World Cup to represent their country. That's all for the news, Jane. Let's dive into the mailbag because there is an absolute ripper. First off, a very keen eye in the men's New South Wales Pride Tassie game on the weekend. Stubra, or is I think the handle of our mailbagger. And they write
Stu Brew. Stu Brew. I don't know.
Let's go. Maybe Stu Bruce, maybe. Let's go with that. Stu Brew. During the Tas Tigers v New South Wales men's game, of course, keeper Max Larkin of Tassie was injured, and the great Tim Devan, if he can't do it all already, he's now goalkeeping. So he jumped in the net at three-quarter time. And to premise this, Devo has done some goalkeeper training, but probably back in his Kookaburra days, which were a long time ago. Now, Stu Brew has asked, surely in a Hockey One game when the teams travel with a single goalkeeper, the host team should provide a local competent backup goalkeeper for these situations. Opportunities for aspiring goalkeepers, and Devo could have been a liability to himself and others. No offence to the legend. He was a little bit of a liability to start letting one in on the near post. I think that was quite clever from Blake Govers, probably knowing that Devo was in the net. And I'd love to know how Devo felt when Blake came in and wound up for that shot at goal. And I guarantee Blake was doing that purposefully. And I have seen Blake score them like that before. So probably trying to get into Devo's head and not try to take him on one-on-one. But to answer your question, Stu Brew, this is a rule change. And I've tried to find out why and haven't been given
neither have I. I haven't been able to find out the exact reason, but I'm going to say financial reasons.
Well, so last year, what you're suggesting actually happened. There was a local competent goalkeeper that would be named in the actual lineup for the away team, and they would sit on the bench for this very reason. So that happened all the last year. Now, I don't know why that's changed, as we've said, and we'll try to find out. Maybe we can ask Sash Herseg if we can get him on to our little podcast. But I'm probably okay with it that we don't have it. I mean, how often does a goalkeeper get injured?
And I wonder if it was driven by the fact when they did have it never eventuated that they were required. And so I wonder if they go, oh, well, like there's no point in organising it. Let's just, and then it's obviously the rare occasion that happened on the weekend.
So I don't mind if the local goalie is there in case the goalie is, the away team's goalie is injured before the game starts. So I think that's fine. Have them there as a backup just in case. But during the game, I think if you name the team and the goalie is competent, it would just be like any other game where you don't have a second goalie. So that would happen in club hockey. It would happen, anywhere where you name a team and don't have a second goalie. So you would have to find someone to do it or play without it. And that was probably a choice Ben Reid had as well, is to not play with a goalie and have the 11 field players. But it seemed like after Blake had missed that goal, Jack Welch put his Superman cape on and basically carried them over the line. Maybe they were trying to protect Devo after they saw Blake wind up. I'm not sure. But so hopefully you are correct. But yeah, for some reason that rule has changed, and we'll try to find out more info if we can. Question number 2 from RR_Priv. And I've learnt over the years that Priv means that's a private account. So you can have 2 Instagrams. One's private, one's for the public. I'm not sure why you do it, but I believe it's a thing.
It's too much like admin.
What do you think the main cause behind the Thundersticks underperforming? Good question.
Oh, ouch.
For the women, it's scoring goals. They just score goals. It's
for sure. I mean, I think it's a question a lot of people have asked over the last few years. Obviously last year they had Ava, and so that's filled the gap for them a lot. But yeah, it's always a mystery. Sometimes they are the one team in Australia that gets to train their entire season together, gets to have multiple practice games, have access obviously to high quality practice games. And so it's always perplexing to me as to why can't they absolutely smash teams from the outset? Are they so nervous that they require several games to build into the season, which is so hard during Hockey One because now we're at halfway. But yeah, maybe you've hit the nail on the head in terms of goal scoring, but they do have 2 Hockeyroos strikers in their lineup. So
plus an ex-Hockeyroos striker. So they've got the talent. I think it's just a matter of getting it done. And sometimes as a striker, when you are told, or when it's highlighted as a performance issue that you're not scoring goals. You try harder, and then it gets worse, right? So I'm sure they're doing some work on it, and I think a lot of it's probably behind decision making. So fingers crossed they come out and can find their goal scoring form this weekend. So for the men, that's just basic skill at the moment and ability to have confidence in what they're doing. They're just probably getting bullied a bit, I would say, and that's what it looked like on the weekend, trying to outlet. They were probably dictated to by Canberra, and they've just got to find some confidence in their young group and get their basics right and maybe enjoy the pressure a bit more, and hopefully they can start building. They've had opportunities but to score goals as well, but probably the same boat really as the girls. Question number 3. This one's probably for you, Jane. Lexi_Wix20 wants to know, does Hockey One affect your everyday life like work? Jane, this is to be so everyone knows, this is what Jane and I talk about when we're not recording. And how sore Jane is and how she has to go do everything.
I'm glad my job as an OT, I can sit at a computer, because I was so sore Monday. I don't think if I had a physical job, like a labour type job, an electrician, sparky, plumber, anything really that required me to move, I would be pretty screwed. But for Tassie, I obviously relocate there on and off each week. So I work remotely whilst I'm in Tassie for a week and then come back to Perth. So that's disruptive in itself. Unless you're in your home state, you're going to have to kind of cop missed work days, taking out annual leave and all of those types of things. I think the worst scheduling issue for Hockey One and working is having a Friday fixture, because usually you're travelling on Thursday, so you've got a 3-day work week. And by and large, not many people I know want to use their annual leave on hockey and not a holiday. So it does disrupt your work week. But it is only for 6 weeks of the year, so you can somewhat justify it. And I told myself this year, probably my last kind of innings trying to do something like Hockey One. So for me, it's worth the sacrifice, and I think many people will probably view it the same, especially later on in their career. They can see the worth in it. So it does definitely affect your everyday work life, especially as you get older and recovery. I think it's day 3 now, and I'm still contemplating whether I should train tonight.
Just to summarise that, Jane's a FIFO Hockey One player, basically. So play and play out, and still work in between when she's obviously not playing. But a buy for you this weekend.
We'll need it.
Hopefully help you out there. Hopefully that answers your question, Lexi. Thank you for that. We appreciate it. And thank you to our other mailbaggers as well. We appreciate your questions. Keep them coming. Obviously, reply to Hockey WA's Instagram story, or you are more than welcome to send them directly to Jane or I. We're happy to have your feedback or all your questions about what we've talked about on the show. Okay, Jane, let's take a look back at round 2 in the Hockey One. Let's go back to Friday night. Let's start with the ladies, and a 6-4 victory to Adelaide Fire, over Hockey Club Melbourne. Probably not one we saw coming, but again, we haven't seen this new look Adelaide Fire team.
Yeah, I know. It's I did think going in, like just on paper, Adelaide Fire have a lot of talent out there, and so if they could hopefully connect in that first game, because I don't assume they probably played many games together prior to game 1, and obviously HC Melbourne coming off round 1. So that was the only probably risk factor there. But they have some good talent out there, and a lot of their debutant strikers getting on the board. So lovely to see.
Yeah, great to see Georgina Dowd, of course, from the Suds Lions Hockey Club, made the move over to Adelaide, and I thought she was very good, as was their defence of Margot Van Geffen, Hattie Shand and Lucy Sharman. They controlled a lot of the game, and of course, Aleisha Power in the net, who we'll chat to later in the show. They're going to be quite difficult to beat with that defence.
Yeah, I think so. I would hate to be playing them further into the season.
Yeah, absolutely. What worried me with Melbourne, though, a couple of the goals that Adelaide scored, they just got caught ball watching their defensive group, and there are Adelaide players free a lot of times. I think one of the goals was scored by one of the free, I don't know if that was attacking midfielder that got ahead, or it was like the left winger and someone just forgot to mark. But I think it might have been Georgina, that one of her goals. But concerning for Hockey Club Melbourne.
I did notice that even in our game, that their back group is probably where their weakness is at this point in time, and that is to do with their marking. And maybe, I don't know if it's overconfidence that they're like, oh, we'll mark in front, we will give them a bit more space, or I don't know, or they don't expect the strikers at this level to be as smart. But it's not club level. A lot of the strikers kind of know how to manipulate defence, and if you give them a little bit of space, they're going to use it. Yeah,
absolutely. You're probably missing an experienced head, and I imagine they're trying to get Soph Taylor back as soon as possible. I'm not sure how far away she is, but fingers crossed she can get back and help just structure them up maybe a little bit better.
It will make a huge difference, I think.
Yeah, I agree. We look at the men's game, and this was a bloodbath. 13-1 in favour of Hockey Club Melbourne. Adelaide's first game, and I can tell you, if it wasn't for Leon Haywood, this would have looked even worse. He was very, very good and made probably twice the amount of saves that Hockey Club Melbourne actually scored. But Hockey Club Melbourne were just so clinical. Like the ability to go from midfield to attack and then get shots at goal was very impressive.
Yeah, although late in the game, I think Adelaide Fire gifted them a few crucial turnovers and outlet, like that first phase turnover where it's just gone directly from centre back straight to the striking line in a press, and so put themselves under a lot of the pump. And you can see that 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, nearly 6 of their goals are scored in over like 3 to 4th quarters. So it's it was a hard watch towards the end.
But certainly you start to feel sorry for the Adelaide Fire, and you sort of go, I know this is your first game and probably got a lot of debutants at this level. But I mean, I thought they weren't I think they were trying to play a zone, and that just didn't work. The zone is very difficult at any level, and I thought it might have been better if they were just player on player, man on man, and try to just protect the corridor a bit, try to force Hockey Club Melbourne wide. But look, if that's what they've worked out as their option for pressing, then it probably needs to be tidied up. I think you're right. There were a lot of balls that went from straight through the zone and found either Nath Ephraim's or Cooper Burns, and I don't think you can give those guys that much space in the forward third of the field.
Yeah, definitely.
Let's have a look at Saturday's game, or games, I should say. They were in New South Wales. Macarthur, is that right?
I believe it was I knew it as Campbelltown.
Okay.
That's where we went to, the suburb we went to, an hour out of Sydney.
Macarthur Regional Hockey Complex, I believe is the official name. Yeah. Let's look at the boys' game first, because New South Wales were well and truly controlling this game at half time. They were 3-1 up and looked fairly comfortable. And then the game flipped on its head once Tim Deven put his goalkeeping gear on. We mentioned earlier it was a necessity, and that Jack Welsh scored early from a penalty corner to make it 3-2, and then Blake Govers could have actually put the game away. He scored a near post goal and then decided to absolutely belt the Jesus out of the ball.
The choice, especially with obviously being in net, I thought you'd just go, "Yep, I'm going to beat you." But
I have seen Blake do that before, so it's not. It is obviously one of his options. He was just obviously offline on this occasion, but it opened the door because then Jack Welsh got another through a penalty corner to a third penalty corner for his hat trick. Aaron Hazel then levelled with a field goal, which I'm sure Dill Martin is still kicking himself about. I think he missed the intercept. And then Jack, in the 60th minute, Jack Welsh was able to absolutely belt one into the left corner of Ash Thomas's goal and scored his conversion, and we finished at 6-4. It was fantastic.
It was
result.
crazy. We were warming up on the other pitch and like, oh, great. Well, not great. Okay, they're losing. It will probably, be done with. And then we get year of, oh, it's now a draw, so you guys have an extra 15 minutes up your sleeve. I was like, oh. And then suddenly they're like, oh, no, actually they've won. And I was like, how? We walked away from the pitch when it was 3-0 thinking everything was done and dusted.
Oh, fantastic result for Tassie. They get themselves on the winners list for the first time this season. Unfortunately, though, your team, Jane, the Tassie Tigers girls, are still winless. And it was Abby Wilson who basically sprung you early with essentially 3 goals in a minute, thanks to a conversion in there as well. And then they got
our best start to the game.
no, not at all. But Phillida Bradley was able to get you close again, and that was a brilliant ball by Josie Lawton. Not Josie Lawton, sorry. Taylor Brooks. My apologies, I'm getting the sisters mixed up. What was she doing? What was Phillida doing by herself in the circle?
I was shocked. I was like, why are you passing it there? Then I saw her, I was like, how is no one marking her? And the same with Rose's goal. It went from our 16 to her just sitting out wide and then one-on-one with the keeper. So the pride of some reflection to do, I think, with
absolutely. So, but the turning point was the game-changing point was the Michaela Jones goal at the top of the fourth quarter. I think we spoke about yours and Maddie Brooks's sharing of your thoughts with the umpire, and then it went down the other end, and Michaela Jones was able to net it, and that pushed the scoreline out 8-4, I think, and it just made it a little bit more difficult.
I know, and if it could maintain 6-5 in that, last however many long, I think it was 2 minutes to go, then suddenly it is a different pressured game. But yet again, the umpires strike again with a lovely interpretation of the rules. And I do believe there was a lovely famous word that was said on the pitch by Maddie Smith, saying, as I was talking to the umpire, who does that girl think she is? I was like, thank you.
Do you not know who I am?
It was almost like, okay, thank you for that lovely comment. I was proud of the girls and how they, we were down quite early and it looked like quite daunting, I guess, of a task. But, we grounded out and, some great individual performances from Phil as well. So,
absolutely.
We pulled our socks up and we go into the bye, and hope it's now crucial for us to kind of win every game now. Yeah,
absolutely. Renee Taylor slotted back in comfortably, and I think I said it before, I think you played a very good game, and when they were able to find you in the middle, you guys had a lot of good attacking play, and I think that was a key. I liked that the group or whoever had the ball was trying to shift the ball into you in the middle, and then we were able to get out the other. You were able to get out the other side, and I think I just thought every time you touched it, something happened. So kudos to you.
Stop it.
Anytime. That's why we do it, right?
Yeah, of course.
And then, of course, Sunday at the Perth Hockey Stadium, a disappointing day for both Perth Thundersticks men and women. The boys going down 8-0, 4-0 at halftime, and it was 5-0 from a Jake Staines penalty corner, and then it got a little bit ugly when Christian Starkey was taken off the field. But Canberra were very, very good. They've unfortunately lost Anand Gupta, who was phenomenal in his first running role in the penalty corner. It actually created the first goal to Aidan Dooley because he actually got it in the middle of his bat, effectively past it halfway.
Yeah.
But I think he may have broken, or I think he has broken his hand. So fingers crossed he's going to be able to get back. But they just suffocated the Perth Thundersticks defence, and poor basic skills from the Perth Thundersticks boys probably didn't help their cause. And, they go without scoring a goal, unfortunately. So going to be fascinating what happens.
Yeah, and I don't know if everyone saw, but there was a highlight of Davis Atkins' individual goal where he literally had it on the dotted, just dribbled to the edge of the circle, and enough defenders had moved because there was obviously a movement of strikers, and he just literally dribbled, jinked it, and then smacked it in. Nice. So, that's if it's that simple, I don't know why I haven't scored goals.
And you should be you've got to stir the pot first. And then go in, little jink. Yeah, come on.
No.
What everyone's showing you.
It's lovely to watch.
No, I think his new makeup routine's working for him. He scored last week too and converted last week. So I love what he's doing. Make sure you go and follow Davis on Instagram. He is a social media star, is Davis Atkin. But they were very good, the Canberra Chill, and have a ripping game against Brisbane on Sunday, but we'll talk about that later as we go to the Perth Thundersticks girls. And, well, deja vu, really. The Canberra Chill scored early through Michaela Evans, a brilliant one-time deflection effectively into the roof of Zoe Newman's net. And then Annie Gibbs able to get on the board with her first Hockey One goal from bashing in a rebound penalty corner, an overhead swat, if you'd like. Plenty of chances for Thundersticks girls, 7 penalty corners to 3 in the end, and they couldn't get the job done. Alyssa Smith was fantastic. She was better than fantastic. She was
she had some ripper PC goal saves, like things that you thought were definitely going in, and she outstretched foot managed to get to it. And the saves were really solid as well. They weren't just spilling to strikers waiting. So impressive individual performance for her.
And then carried on her good work into the shootout, which the Chill won in a sudden death style. It was funny talking to Alyssa in the post-game interview, and she was a little bit dirty on her work for not saving a few more.
She's got high expectations.
I love that. I love that from a goalkeeper. But another fantastic weekend of Hockey One, and we'll have a look forward to round 3 after we chat to James Collins.
Hockey WA is thrilled to have the continued support of Styles Electrical Services as the naming rights sponsor of the 2025 Premier League men's and women's competitions. With over 25 years of experience in sports lighting, Styles Electrical Services is committed to supporting hockey's growth in WA by assisting clubs with floodlighting upgrades and strengthening pathways for athlete development. Their ongoing support will help enhance one of the world's strongest domestic hockey competitions, and we cannot thank them enough for their support. Visit styleselectrical.com.au to find out more about Styles Electrical and how they can help your club.
Disappointing loss for the Perth Thundersticks men on Sunday, and if you've listened to Stephen Davies post-game on the Thundersticks Instagram, not particularly enthused about the performance of the group, and we're lucky enough to dive a little bit further into it with the Vice-Captain, James Collins. Welcome to the Hockey Hour, Jimmy. How are you going?
Yeah, look, it's definitely a tough loss to have at home, especially. So, it's one we got to swallow, and the nature of this tournament means that it's a quick turnaround next week to our game against South Australia. So, got to learn our lessons and move on.
One week at a time, as they say. But before we get into your little summary of the game, what's your coffee order, Jimmy?
My coffee order. Well, I was a long Mac topped up, but then whenever you travel over east, they don't do that. So I'm normally a flat white extra shot.
Yeah, that
is my go-to.
People from Perth actually don't know how to explain it to people in the east, because I just have a long Mac, and then you say that, and they're like, "What are you talking about?"
I was a barista in a previous life and worked in an ice cream shop, so I learned that the hard way.
Very good, very good. Give us your thoughts on Sunday. We've obviously heard some commentary from your coach, and obviously those that watched it on 7plus and were able to kind of see how it unfolded anyway. But how did you summarise the game?
Yeah, I think that, we came in, we had good plans, and we've got a really talented young group, but I think that we just didn't really execute our game plan. Our basics were off, as China said, and we were just off the mark in a number of aspects that at this level you're going to get hurt. So I think that our marking at times wasn't as tight as it needs to be. Maybe our basics weren't there, as I said, and just all over cleanliness across the field just kind of hurt us. And they were able to put on a few goals early on, and then when we took our keeper off, it probably made it look a little bit ugly. But definitely some room for improvement in those kind of areas.
Yeah, definitely. It was an interesting game to watch on your behalf, especially because I think you went from playing right half to attacking mid in the fourth quarter. Which, in terms of positionally, where do you prefer personally to play, and what was probably the theory behind the move?
Yeah, so I think trying to tap me on the shoulder, it might have been third quarter or at some stage around there, and it did the same thing in Brisbane. Look, I don't really mind either or. I'm happy to play anywhere on the field as long as I'm out there. Whichever's going to help the team the most, and at different stages in different games, I'm going to be asked to play different roles. And I suppose that's one thing that I'm extremely proud of, is being able to play different positions. As to which one I prefer, I don't really have too much of a preference. I think that wherever I can get the ball and give it go, get on the other side and kind of have that kind of impact, that's how I like to play hockey. And I'm going to be diplomatic and not put my hat in one or the other, but I just, both.
To be honest,
I play both very similarly.
Attacking mid is just an attacking version of halfback in most people's eyes, so it's
Very
much
true.
of a muchness sometimes.
I do love running up the line and receiving overheads from Tommy Harvey, though, so I do have a little bit of a soft spot for that. So
I was going to say you were being very diplomatic, but personally, my thought is the group has looked better when you're at attacking midfield. So that's just my opinion on it. You spoke about, obviously, not executing the game plan, and obviously there were a lot of basics errors and passing, misses and concerns. How do you look to fix or address that as a group at training or sort of in meetings, I suppose?
Yeah, I mean, it's been 2 games now, and probably even some last year, where we've had slow starts into games. So that's definitely one area where we've addressed, where we just need to make sure that from the side of our training sessions and games, like we're onto it. We're not warming. We're not taking time to get into those things. So as far as, maybe one thing is just like making sure those standards at training are high as well. But at the same time, with a young group, you still want to give people the confidence and not jump down their throat if they are making mistakes, because as you know, everyone in our squad is good enough to be there, and they can do that 99 times over 100. Everyone knows how to play hockey, but I suppose that coming up to the next level or playing a level that you haven't done before, maybe there's a bit of nerves or just a confidence. And I think that just believing in those boys and giving them the confidence to say, hey, like, making mistakes, fine, like, move on from it, do the next thing. And if you're going to make a mistake, make sure you're trying to do it and not hesitating. So just like making a decision and going with it, I think, is the thing. And then, just making sure at training that we're starting off strong and that we're keeping each other to a high standard, I think is where we're at the moment and what we are looking to do moving forward.
Yeah, definitely. It's a hard balancing act, that's for sure. But promoting kind of confidence in players to just make their own decision, I feel, allows them to play a little bit more with freedom. Talking about players, I guess, coming back into your team, Cam Geddes, how far away is he from playing?
Yeah, Cam Geddes is a very, very good player, and we'd love to have him back 2 weeks ago. But you don't want to rush these things, as I suppose everyone knows. When you're on the sidelines, you want to get back as soon as you can. And I think he's probably in doubt for this weekend, but hopefully round 4 at home against the reigning champs, I think Melbourne, we got him here. So I think that'll be a good time for him to return and really help this group and give us that little bit of kick that we might have been lacking in the last couple of games.
I guess soft tissue injuries probably are more of a concern when you have to fly as well. And although it's probably a shorter flight to Adelaide, it's never one that physios and sports med people are happy with signing off, especially when it's been done before, I suppose, the injury that he's got. So wishing and hoping Cam gets back soon, because I think he adds obviously lots of value for your group. But let's look at Saturday. It's just going to be, it's kind of a make or break game, really. So early in the season, you're round 3 and you'll be halfway through your games for the season. You really have to get the results and probably in full time. How much do you read into Adelaide's game against Hockey Club Melbourne last Friday?
Yeah, I mean, I think that the way we're viewing it is that every game from now on is a must-win, kind of no matter who we're versing or what their previous results are. I think that previous years have shown us that anyone can beat anyone on a given day. And I think that although that Melbourne put on a very strong performance the other night, like Adelaide are definitely not easy beats. And I think that, they're going to present their own challenges, and we haven't had our best form. So we're hoping to put it all together this week and put on a show. But you can never count a team out no matter what their previous weeks. And that was their first hit out as well, away from home. So, I think that you read into that, you look at how they're playing and their tactics and stuff like that, but I don't think you read too much into the score. We still got a job to do.
Yeah, my thoughts exactly as well. It's first game, but also like that Melbourne team is very, very good. Very hard to read into, but you're certainly right. You are going to have to do well to beat them at home. And that's obviously on Saturday. Catch it all live and free on 7+. Going to be calling that game. So I'm excited to do that and hopefully can give you a little pump up, Jim. Do some nice things for me and I can, pump you up a little bit. But
thanks, man. I appreciate that.
Good luck on Saturday, and we hope you can get the full points against Adelaide.
Thanks very much. Appreciate it, guys.
Thanks, James.
Let's look ahead, Jane, to round 3 in the One Active Hockey One season. Starts Friday night. New South Wales Pride and Hockey Club Melbourne in Newcastle at the Newcastle International Hockey Centre. The women's game is going to be fascinating, this one. I just think probably, though, New South Wales should be too strong.
Yeah, I agree. They have a lot of threats, and depending if Sophie Taylor's back for HC, Melbourne can stabilise their defence. But I think, Melbourne are in for a big Friday night.
Abby Wilson is in some red hot form. It's not what you want when you've let in or allowed 6 goals to go in the previous week, and she scored 3 in a minute. So, so it's going to be a tough night for the Hockey Club Melbourne girls, I think. The men's game, well, this could go anywhere, really, this one. I don't think Hockey Club Melbourne will blow out New South Wales like they did Adelaide. I think they'll just get over the line. I think Kieran Govers will have a way to negate what Hockey Club Melbourne do. I think the key matchup is Liam Henderson. And I wonder if Jack Hayes goes to him and tries to mark him, or do you put Nathan Zinner on him and just go, you guys just go head to head and let's see who wins.
See who equals each other out.
Yeah, he seems to be the conduit between the defensive group and Burns and Ephraim's. So, and what about Dan Smits?
Yeah.
Big boy.
I know, gosh.
Can flick him and can bash him in. He's going to be a handful for Dill Martin and Luke Knobler.
Yeah, there'll be a lot for New South Wales to manage.
They're going to need some PTs, I think. So that'll be a cracking start to the weekend. And then, well, the big one, Saturday at the State Hockey Centre. I think it's called Mate Stadium now. Is that right?
Yeah, yep.
Mate Stadium. Adelaide and the Thundersticks, both games must-wins for the Perth Thundersticks, men and women. I actually think Adelaide might beat the Perth Thundersticks girls.
Yeah, they might. Yeah, it's hard to tell because if depending on how they've reacted following this weekend.
True.
And they did perform quite well, but they just weren't able to finish it off. And I wonder if they'll reflect and just go, look, there's nothing to lose. Maybe they'll loosen up a little bit, and that'll help with the goal scoring kind of fluidity, because they had a 3-on-1 with a keeper in against the Chill, and they went the wrong way, and then the person that received it probably wasn't aware of the next pass. And so I'm sure they'll all kind of individually reflect and go, okay, this is make or break, and throw a lot at them. So I know Aleisha Power is probably fully aware of what's coming for it. But yeah, I think it'll be good for Fire to kind of test out their structures, because I don't think they were really tested against Melbourne. There was a lot of scrappy kind of ways of play happening. So this will be great for anyone scouting Fire for the next week.
Absolutely. Is that you?
Yes.
Very good, very good. And well, I think in the men, whoever loses this one probably finishes on the bottom of the ladder. Yeah. As harsh as that is to say, I think the Perth Thundersticks men can win though. Look, speaking to James earlier, it doesn't look like Cam is going to play, but look, I think they just got to get it together. I think they will be. Adelaide will tighten up their press. But I think if James Collins can play as an attacking midfielder, I think that's where the key is for the Thundersticks.
Yeah, they need some more threats kind of feeding to their strikers. So hopefully James can provide that.
Last game of the weekend, probably the games of the round: Canberra Chill and Brisbane Blaze at the National Hockey Centre in ACT. The girls' game is going to be a ripper, and I think Canberra Chill will continue their winning ways.
Yeah, I think so. Like they have a lot of players that play together in the local Perth competition. So for the men, and so I think that's really gifted them an opportunity in Hockey One to solidify those relationships, and you see how fluid they are when they play. So yeah, I think Brisbane will have a hard task. I don't know if Brisbane have any players coming back from overseas or anything like that. I know there's a few.
Not this weekend. I actually, I'm in Brisbane at the moment. I was lucky enough to be allowed to go down to their training session last night, thanks to Mitchie Nicholson, who obviously is my teammate at Vic Park. So I had a bit of a watch, and yeah, I know this will probably come out after they've made their selections for Sunday, but they may have some injury concerns with some players as well. So Jake Wetton and, of course, Joel Rintala weren't there, so they will obviously join them in Canberra, but still no Lockie Sharp, Tim Howard or Corey Weyer. So I think Canberra will likely get the job done. And I think I think of the women, they'll do the same as well. I mean, Brisbane were okay against Perth, but I think the key is going to be for Brisbane is their three, speedy little strikers in Harris, Sura, and Colin Sanders, I think. So
yeah, I do believe they'll at least have two of the three Fitzpatricks playing.
Oh, are they back? Are they?
Yeah,
Okay.
but maybe one not playing because they arrived in the day before. But yeah, so they are a bit more bolstered in terms of players, and I think they probably iron out a lot of creases in that first game against WA because it was obviously the curtain raiser, and again, don't think they had many games under their belt as a team. So I don't know. I feel like Brisbane might click a little bit more than what we saw against WA.
Yeah, it's going to be a fascinating weekend. And, of course, for those part of the Hockey Hours One Active tipping competition, make sure you get your tips for round 3 in before 3:30 p.m. Friday Perth time. That is when the first games of the weekend will start. As we look at the leaders, M. Roberts, TC Hogan and Ben Fells on 11, Marlene Dry on 10, and Tom's Talkin on 9. Round out the top.
On Tom, God.
Tommy boy loves it. We'll be back in the Brisbane Blaze this weekend. I have no doubt about that. Don't forget you can use your double point round if you would like. And I think 4 was the best last weekend. So a couple of upsets in there as well, or people weren't quite sure of. So, yeah, make sure you get your tips in. The competition is heating up. We've got a 3-way tie for the lead. All right, Jane, let's go to Around the Grounds. And this week, our Around the Grounds is diving into enemy territory for this weekend with Adelaide Fire's goalkeeper, former Thunderstick goalkeeper, and of course, Hockey-Roo goalkeeper, Aleisha Power. Welcome to the Hockey Hour, Aleisha.
Hi, thanks for having me.
No, we very much appreciate having you. We had you, I think I had you last year after you had won the final, and you were not, well, you're still getting your voice back, I think, at that point. So,
Yeah, probably.
but we always want to know what our guests' coffee orders are.
Oh, my coffee order is a lactose-free flat white.
Oh, okay. We always get that. Is that because we found out that Tom Wickham has lactose-free milk or change of milk because he drank too much full cream coffee, but yours is dietary, I'm assuming?
Yeah, I just think too much milk makes my tummy upset.
Fair enough.
I tend to not punch the full cream coffees and try to go for a high-low, lactose-free. Try not to make it too complicated and just order the flat white,
I like it. I like it. Very good. Great start for the Adelaide girls on Friday night, away over in Melbourne, and got the chocolates. Give us a summary of how you saw it from the other end of the field.
Yeah, I mean, it was a tough game despite, leading by a few goals at one point. Melbourne ended up throwing the kitchen sink at us right down to the last, 10 seconds. They had an outside the 5 penalty corner that we managed to keep out. But I think I'd probably summarise it as a bit of a spirit game. Like, I just felt a lot of energy from the girls, especially the local Adelaide girls, and there was a lot of spirit and belief and fire in our belly to come out and really make Adelaide proud, given, the last couple of years not having the best results, I guess, as a state. So it felt like a grand final, I would say, that first game. And it was really fun to play. Like, I was smiling from ear to ear after the game, even despite, having 4 goals put against me. Like, it just felt really special to be a part of, I would say. Yeah.
Well, I mean, thanks to Tim, one of those goals were a little bit contentious. And I did see your comments, so I'll encourage people to go and have a look. It
was a polite comment, I thought. Just having a closer look at the pass in the circle, but yeah.
No, I thought about reposting.
I sympathise with polite commentary on Instagram.
Yeah, good bit of banter, I guess.
Yeah,
I love it.
How has the transition, obviously, to the new club in Fire from Thundersticks been? What was kind of your have you been in Adelaide? Have you been more FIFO? What's the, I guess, arrangement for you?
Yeah, so I went over on the 8th of October, so just before the bye weekend, to essentially be there and train with the girls and get to know everyone and do a bit of bonding over the weekend and a bit of culture work, which was awesome. That was really important to me, I guess, getting over there earlier and really trying to slot into the team, especially as a goalkeeper. You want to be a part of a team. You're not really, the person running and scoring the goals. So that was important to me. I'm doing a bit of FIFO. I was saying just before the call, I'm trying to look for jobs at the moment. So it's sort of important for me to be in and out of Perth at the moment for interviews and things like that, a bit of casual work. So I'm sort of doing a bit of FIFO, but I'm trying to spend as much time as I can in Adelaide, to make sure I'm being a part of the team. In terms of the transition, it's been quite smooth, I would say. A little bit nervous at first, but coming into the environment, I've been really impressed with the way Adelaide are going about things. In terms of culture, connection, team first mentality, I can't even begin to explain the hospitality I've been given since being there. Like, I think some of the girls who give the shirt off their back to me if I asked, just unbelievably kind and welcoming. So it's been a really smooth transition. I've really felt like I've really become a part of the team already, and it's only been a couple of weeks. So it's been great. Yeah.
Oh, I love that. That's awesome. Just out of curiosity, what's your what type of work you're looking for. We might have a listener that might want to employ you.
True.
Oh, I just finished my Masters of Counselling. So anyone in the mental health space or wellbeing, if anyone's out there, I'm a good chat. Talk a little bit too much maybe sometimes, but I'm good value. I work hard. I'm passionate about it. So please hire me.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go. Hockey-roo goalkeeper. Obviously, if anyone is in the mental health or counselling space, reach out to Aleisha. I'm sure she'd love to hear from you. Let's sort of get back to hockey, I guess. Explain to it. We haven't had someone who has transferred club on the show just yet. So give us an idea of how that whole process worked. Maybe I assume Adelaide reached out to you first, or give us an idea of the process.
Yeah, I mean, look, I think I can be pretty honest. I've told a lot of people. It actually started off as a little bit of a joke. Not a joke, as in like, haha. It was more like Greta approached me after she had already was planning on moving to Adelaide and was like, you should play for the Fire. And I said, haha, give him my email. We'll see. I got an email 5 minutes later as I was about to board the plane before Pro League. So I got an email and just started the conversations. Obviously for me, it was really important to be really respectful, I guess, to the Thundersticks too. That was really important to me. So they were fully involved in the conversation as well from the start about me considering moving. All parties ended up being okay with the decision that I made to end up going to Adelaide. So that's sort of the process, I guess. And then, obviously finalising with Adelaide that, they'll have me for the Hockey One season, getting that tick. It's a lot of conversations and a lot of discussions and working out what's best for me, what's best for Adelaide, is Thundersticks going to be okay with me leaving? So, it was very respectful, which I really appreciated from all parties. Yeah.
Yeah, it is hard. I know. I understand fully the process, but I obviously haven't been on this podcast, Jace. So
Yeah.
Sorry,
what was your name again?
You just wanted to talk about how much money you were going to get from Tassie.
Was it really though? Like, were you quite nervous about making the decision? Because I know personally, like, I'm so loyal to Adelaide, but my reasons were completely different to your reasons, I'm sure. But actually pulling the pin and going, okay, I'm going to do this. I know it could be way easier to stay in Perth and train with the team and, but was it difficult?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, I just won my first championship ever. I don't have that's my first probably gold medal, I guess, in the cabinet playing sport, to then turn around and want to leave. I was really nervous. But I was really excited about a different opportunity. Like, as you said, Jane, like playing, being from Perth, playing in Perth, and then the high performance program being in Perth. It's a lot of Perth. And not that I don't like it here, but like it can feel very deja vu every year, I would say. And when the opportunity sort of popped up, I did have a little bit of excitement in me, I guess, to get uncomfortable and to try something different and to be around people I don't know or people I do know but like don't play with. And I think for me that was like the first, sign when that email came through that like, okay, maybe this is an opportunity that I need for me personally. And it was always just a personal decision. There was no like other reason why, but that challenge, I think I'm really at that growth stage in my career. And this for me was an opportunity to grow, I think, a bit more. I've
really admired it from all the players that have gone away from their home states. It is you said, hit the nail on the head, saying you grow up only knowing your home state, and the people involved in it. And you're right, it can feel like deja vu. So I love that players are challenging themselves in a new environment. And so far, I think all of the players that have transferred have flourished from what I've seen.
It's so good for the league as well. Like
I agree.
When I heard, we talk, I'm like, oh, you're moving there. And I'm like, this is so cool. Like this is so going to make the league even and exciting. And even just like being able to support some of the local girls in SA who are really talented and up and coming and strong club players and Hockey One players, to give them a different kind of support maybe than they used to, is really exciting. And seeing other girls being able to do that at different clubs too, I think that's what the league is supposed to be about, and makes it exciting and challenging, which is cool. Yeah.
Yeah, completely agree. However, this weekend, we talk about going up against your home state, obviously your previous team in the Perth Thundersticks for the first time. Now, being this is going out on Friday and we're recording on a Tuesday, how are you feeling about it at the moment? I know that'll change once the game starts, but how are you feeling about it right now?
I don't know if it's really sunk in that it's like, hey, I'm actually just going to, play the people I've grown up playing with my whole life. I'm excited. I think it's going to be a real challenge. I would expect them to come out full force and want to slot 10 goals against me just because why not? Like, I feel like everyone wants to do that against someone who leaves their team. So, yeah, I'm expecting full force. I'm expecting them to defend like crazy, because I think, their defense has always been a staple, I guess, in Hockey One, AHL. But I'm expecting them to really connect and to really want to put it to me and that challenge, which is also exciting and a little bit nerve-wracking. But I guess, I'm also excited to be like, this would be fun.
Yeah.
This would be fun.
Yeah, and you're also getting them.
Anyone texted you yet?
Anyone texted me yet?
Any of the Perth girls texted you yet?
No, but Steph Andrews says we can't be friends until at least after this week. And then maybe if we're all in finals, we have to wait to be friends again after. So there's a few friendships on the line. But no text messages yet.
Okay.
Yeah. Missed opportunity by them. But I guess they're also coming into the game winless. So I assume that's going to play heavy on their game plan. And we were, Jason and I were discussing before in the mailbag question, there was a question about why are WA underperforming, and we mentioned that they don't seem to be able to put together goal scoring threats. And so, this weekend I feel like they're going to try and really.
Well, let's all just touch wood for a second. Sorry, let's not jinx me in this conversation. Now they're going to put it together after you just said that.
That's
and I'm going to come back and be like, why did we talk about this?
In your opinion, what do you think is important for the Adelaide girls, I guess, to exploit this weekend?
Yeah, I think our ability to absorb attack and to continue to break down their attack, I think Canberra did that quite well, like just breaking it down. I mean, Alyssa Smith had like a goalkeeping clinic in the last 20 minutes of that game, which also, mitigated a lot of their attack. But if we can absorb, break it down, keep denying that connection they're trying to find, and then just recognizing that they are a really good defensive unit and that maybe we're not going to have a lot of space, or they're also going to be breaking us down. How can we keep that connection at the other field? That's probably what I would say, but I'm not the coach, but probably what. I think connection's a big part. If we can stay connected up front, and if we can deny their connections in defence, maybe that'll push the pendulum, I guess, into our court.
I think it's certainly going to be a game of which defence can be breached, because I think your defence, I mentioned earlier, is very, very good. Lucy, Hattie and Margot were very, very good on Friday night against Melbourne. So going to be a cracking game of hockey, of course. Catch it all live and free on 7+. You'll see Aleisha Power in the net for the Adelaide Fire taking on the Perth Thundersticks. Leish, thank you for your time, and go well on the weekend.
Thank you so much.
That's all we have for this week's episode. Jane, any plans for your weekend off?
Well, it's my birthday weekend, as you obviously know, Jace, because you've gotten me a birthday present.
Yes, it's in the mail.
No, so I'm having dinner with friends and family over the weekend. So, and then we've got Reds Hockey Awards night on Saturday night. So what else would you rather be doing?
Chance for the BNF? Or you already know the winner?
I already know the winner, yeah.
Okay, right. So clearly it's not you.
No, it is me.
Well done. Well, congratulations. This
Thank
will come out Friday.
Yeah.
I assume all the girls know as well. You must have done
Yeah,
that.
no, we had a medal count just before
Okay.
finals.
Yeah, because we may have had to cut that out if no one knew.
No, it's well known.
Very good. Very good. Enjoy watching the Hockey One this weekend. I'm sure you'll have your eyes peeled, and I'll hear from you on the text line for things that you're not happy with. But,
I'll give
thank
you
you.
live feedback.
Yes, please. Yeah. Thank you all for tuning in for this week's episode. Of course, follow Hockey WA on Instagram to catch the video highlights of the Thundersticks games and to make sure you keep your eye out for the mailbag questions. But feel free, of course, to always reach out to Jane or I. Enjoy the hockey week this weekend, and we'll catch you next week on the Hockey Hour.